Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today, we're going to be talking about XRP, or the native token from the Ripple Labs. What we're going to be looking at today is why I think XRP could tend to maybe even 40 times this cycle from where we currently are. Obviously, it's a very interesting argument to be had because based on everything around XRP itself and Ripple, it's the SEC legal case with everything. It's a very touchy subject to a lot of people, and it's a very hard one to kind of give a good kind of understanding of where exactly we think it's going to go, because there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of it's not going to do anything because this, that, and the other, whatever. But personally, for me, XRP, it's just going to be one of these companies that I think generally is going to have a token which is here to stay, and a project that is here to stay. I think it's really going to fix a lot of the problems we have in the world, especially around the banking system with kind of how slow and costly it is. I think XRP, the token, and the service that Ripple provide on the XRP ledger and ODL is definitely a brilliant service that will fix a lot of the problems. Obviously, I imagine by now most of you guys know what it is. It's been around a long time with the SEC case. Everyone kind of knows what it does. So I'm not going to spend too much time kind of running through all of that. But as you can see, even looking for the website, you can see so many different organizations that are incorporated with Ripple and have collaborations. They've got stable coins in different countries that they're testing out on the XRP ledger. So there's a lot around Ripple that just looks so solid. If you're going to look at any business that's got the collaborations and the links that you want to be looking at that are going to be a long-term good option in crypto, XRP is definitely the one you want to run for. What we want to do though is we want to move over to the XRP chart specifically. We can run through a couple things. That's kind of playing up. All right. We can run through a couple of things to go through and kind of reel off why we think, why I think XRP can do what I think it's going to do. Obviously, this is just Binance and Tether chart. It's not kind of giving the full picture because the all-time high is, I think it was $3.8. So it's up here somewhere. So as you can see, through the life cycle as we came down, you're going to have the SEC case all the way through this period when it was brought in. Even during the bear market and the push-up last cycle, you could see from the lows to the highs, XRP was still able to do an 1,800% move. And that's from the depths of when we had the SEC case. You were going about 10 cents. And even then, we still managed to 18 times from the lows. And that's with an SEC case battering down XRP and battling down Ripple and saying, this is a security. You can't be doing what you're doing. You can't be selling to businesses, this, that, and the other. But it still holds strong. It's still showing that the community there and people are using it, because otherwise you wouldn't have had that push up. I think one of the interesting things to look at this cycle specifically is definitely, with what will probably be the end of the SEC case, which will probably be in the next couple of months. I think, with that drawing to a conclusion, we will see XRP, hopefully, as the only digital asset with actual legal clarity in the courts, which is going to be obviously a very big positive thing for XRP and for the crypto market, because I think that's definitely going to set a precedent for everyone else. But if we can get that legal clarity, that means there's only one asset that people can look at and think that's more of a safe bet than any other, because you've got the legal clarity, which is a really big positive thing. Another thing we can kind of look at and kind of draw a conclusion with is we never set an all-time high last cycle, because obviously you've got that price suppression from the legal battle that they've had over the past nearly 4 years, which is mental. And even with that 18 times that it's still made, there's a lot of possible runway for this cycle, because say XRP has had that price suppression and they never hit its full potential, you kind of miss where the money and the influx of cash throughout that period, this period here in this bull run, wouldn't have had as much money in as you probably would have generally for that cycle. And obviously, if we're going to have a bull run soon, especially based on everything going on with Bitcoin and how we, I said in the video yesterday, we're going to have a breakout at some point in the next month or two. There's a lot more liquidity and a lot more money swashing around the crypto space right now. So for us to kind of say, oh, well, it only did an 18 times over whatever the percentage was in 2017, it's clearly not as strong as we think it is. But again, when you're being battered down in a legal case where people are scared, people don't want to be in the asset, you're not going to have as much of a jump up. So I think one of the great positives we can cover from this is, if you can have that higher influx of money because the crypto market generally is worth more money, we're going to be looking at a higher climb up. I think we'll definitely surpass this point here quite easily, to be honest. I think we'll surpass the $2 quite easily. I think we'll also get past the previous all-time high set in 2017 as well. I think we'll comfortably get past that. I think, even if we look at... XRP hitting its 4.236 if you draw from a high and the low point of the all-time high from 2017 to the low point, you're looking at around $14, which, even if you look at from the low point this cycle, which was here, 29 cents, you're looking at around a 45 times from that point. So it's not out of the realms of possibility to say, you could have made... 30, 40 times on XRP from the lows, especially if you're completely going out to the top of the Fibonacci retracement levels. But, that would be my kind of best case scenario. It's going to be quite difficult to predict exactly where we think it's going to go. But even then, there's a lot of conversations about, XRP could hit somewhere between $15 and $20, completely based on everything that's been happening with the price suppression and all that sort of stuff. Again, that could be a target that gets hit. You might have more of an influx of cash when the SEC case ends and they get their legal clarity and that price of pressure is no longer there and people feel confident coming back to the asset. You could hit $20. Personally, for me, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think, a more realistic point would be probably somewhere between $10 and $14. I imagine what you're probably going to have is when we hit $5 specifically, I think you can have a large sell-off because I think there's going to be a lot of people who are in this asset who are going to sit there and be like, I've been here for years, I've been here since, I don't know, say 2018, 2020, nothing's happening, nothing's moving, I'm not making any money, and people are just going to go, if I bought all throughout the zone, $5, okay, it's at least a 10 times, even if you buy now, or just under a 10 times. I'm happy with that. I'm going to sell my bag, and that's it. And there's going to be a lot of people that will do that. But I think the interesting thing will be is the sentiment that's going to be around XRP. I think it's going to very depend on what the news is like around it as well during the market. Because I think the more positive news you're going to have, obviously, the more XRP is going to push up, which is why I think legal case is such a big part of this. And again, the more bearish and the more influencers talk about it, or the more positively they talk about it, that could also affect the price somewhat. The more fear you pump into the market, obviously the more retail are going to press down on something and sell off. So that's going to be an interesting kind of way to look at it later on when we're kind of in the midst of the bull run. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. So that, that obviously would say for me, on a more realistic standpoint, I think a comfortable place to start selling would be $5, because then you're like, cool, from this point right now, I've at least made it 10 times. That's a good amount of money to make. And chances are what you'd have probably done is, because XRP is normally the last crypto altcoin to pump over other cryptos, you'd probably move some of your profits into it. So, it's not just like, I've stuck $1,000 in, I've made 10k, cool. You might have started with $1,000 and accumulated, all throughout this period. And then you pumped more money in the zone here, so now you've got $4,000 there, and then your 10 times from there might be, 40 grand, 50 grand, 60 grand. It depends on, where all the points you're buying from. So obviously, there's a lot of still upside to be made in XRP. I think there's a lot of potential upside as well, just purely based on the historical. All the historical data and all the history that's happened over the past kind of 4 or 5 years with XRP, Ripple, the SEC, even ETHgate, everything that's kind of happened. It's been an interesting one, but it is a very kind of cult covered altcoin. That obviously the XRP holders are very cult like. But to have an asset to take off in crypto, you need the cult following. Otherwise, it's not going to go anywhere. Nobody's going to invest in it. But you need the cult to create the culture. That's the general gist of why cults are what they are, to be honest. So you need all of these people to be in it, to be like, cool, we think it's going to go somewhere, it's going to happen, this is going to be good. And that's kind of when we start seeing that sentiment come back into the XRP holders and into the market. I think that's going to be a really big catalyst as well for seeing the price really skyrocket. Again, if you're already seeing an 18 times rise, and when everyone is shitting themselves about thinking, oh my god, this isn't going to do anything, we're going to lose on the money because the SEC case, and it's still going to pump hard like that, you just need to look at it from the perspective of, okay, if you're going to pump in an SEC case in a bear market, not break the all-time high, but you're still going to get a significant pump, what you're going to do when you've got free legal clarity? You're not in a legal battle anymore. The market is no longer scared to be in your asset. You got to think of these potentials and how good that future gains could be in an asset like that. And especially recently, we've seen a big surge in activity of purchases of XRP, and a lot of XRP being moved around different exchanges. I've seen a lot of data about XRP coming off of exchanges, which obviously tends to be when people are going to hold. I've also seen a lot of data about people putting it on exchanges, but that could be maybe people want to sell, or maybe people are thinking, the big whales are going, we know there's going to be a pump soon. We know crypto is going to take off and altcoins are going to take off and we're going to have that rally. And they're preparing to sell everything they've got, and they've moved on to exchange ready for that. So there's a lot of ways you can look at it, whether positive or negatively. But I think generally, it's one of these assets you kind of should just take the risk on because of just, again, the historical data around it and everything going on with the asset generally. It's always making new collaborations. There's a lot of talk around them creating their own stable coin. I know there's a lot of talk of saying, well, why do we need XRP if you create a stable coin? It's like, if you want to pay for something with the dollar, you still need XRP to transact that. It's the same thing with a stable coin. It's not going to kill the actual token of XRP. They're going to work hand in hand. And it needs the XRP ledger itself to transact using the stable coin. So any FUD that you see surrounding that saying, well, XRP is going to go to zero because now they've got the stable coin, why do they need XRP? No, the whole point is you still need the ledger, you still need XRP, you need that system to run to help you settle from the pound to the yen or whatever you want to do, I don't know. But you still need the XRP ledger there to use that. Even if you have a stable coin that is backed one-to-one with the dollar, you still need XRP. It's still the same situation. So ignore that FUD that's going around in the market at the minute because it's unhelpful, it's uninteresting. It's just people kind of scaremongering again, not looking into a project or thinking about it properly. Generally, what is a crypto space? I mean, every time you see anything on bloody CoinDesk, it's always the same, isn't it? So ignore all of that. Obviously, again, it's one of these things where do your own research. Really, really dive deep into Ripple and XRP. Go through the Ripple website, see all their collaboration, see everything, all the data you need to see. Go on the XRP ledger, you can learn about how everything actually works. You can learn about their systems. And you can also learn about why exactly, I am so confident in an asset like this, and why generally you'll see all over YouTube people talk about XRP so much as such a strong project for the future, because generally it's been around as long as any other asset. The fact it survived in the top 10 for this long shows you there's strength in it. It shows you there's backing. It shows you that people are going to use it. Otherwise, it's going to fall away to the wayside like other projects that just haven't hit the mark or aren't strong enough to survive. They've got exactly what they need and exactly the foundations to succeed. So, I would advise everyone have a look at it, see what you think, check out the pricing. Again, I think 50 cents is a really good buying opportunity, and I think selling at $5, $10, $15 is always really big positive places to start selling. Kind of dollar cost average out of your positions. Maybe sell, I don't know, 30% at $5, 30% at $10, and see how high you can get past that point. Would be kind of my advice on that. I know what my targets are. Again, you know, I try not to stick around the whole numbers, because I logically think a lot of people are going to go, cool, $5 sell, cool, $10 sell. So I'd probably advise kind of myself, my goals are just below those targets. So when people try and get up to those numbers, I've sold off before everyone else might think, crap, we got to get out of our positions, and then you see a big downturn. And at least then I've sold before what would be probably logically some psychological levels that retail would be looking at, because generally that, you know, they're always going to look at round numbers. There is also something quite satisfying about that, but generally that's what retail do. So anyway, guys, that's the video. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Any feedback would be great, because obviously, you know, I'm trying to push this channel out to more people, and trying to learn and create better content for you guys. So please drop a comment, and I'll catch you in the next one.